Hello, in this question we are told a photograph print measuring 24 centimeters by 15 centimeters is enclosed in a frame. A uniform space of width x centimeters is left in between the edges of the photograph and the frame. If the area of the space is 270 square centimeters, find the value of x. So let's start working on the solution. So we have the frame on the outer side, this greenish color, and we have the photograph print on the inside, this orangish color, right? And we are being told that the photograph print measures 24 centimeters by 15 centimeters. So we have that here. The photograph print is 24 by 15 centimeters. So what we don't know is what does the frame measure? But we can express the width and the length of the frame in terms of x. For example, how would we get this whole length of the frame, right? We need to take what we know, which is 24, and we are going to add this space here. But since the x is uniform all around, this means this space is x centimeters. And so we take 24 plus this x, and then we also add this other side, which is also x centimeters, since the x width is uniform. So this means that this outer length is going to be 24 plus this first x, then plus this second x, and this is going to be 24 plus 2x centimeters. Okay, let's take a look at this width. How do we get the width of the frame? To get it, we need to take what we know. We know that from here to here, that's 15 centimeters. We need to add this side, but since the width is uniform, this means this is also x centimeters, and this other side. So this is also x centimeters. So this means to get the width of the frame, we need to take 15 plus this first x, and then plus this second x. And this is going to be 15 plus 2x centimeters. Nice. So we have now expressed the length and the width of the frame in terms of x. Okay, let's go back to the question. We are told that if the area of the space is 270 square centimeters, find the value of x. So the space is all this. And we are being told that the area of the space is 270 square centimeters. So at this point, we just need to ask ourselves, how would we get the area of that space? The area of that space would be the same as taking the area of this outer frame minus the area of the photograph print. So we write that area of space will be equal to area of the frame minus area of the photograph. Right? What is the area of the space? That's 270. And we are saying this is equals to, how would we get the area of the frame? It's a rectangle. So we do length times width. The length is 24 plus 2x. What is the width? 15 plus 2x. So the length times the width. Minus, what is the area of the photograph? Again, the photograph is a rectangle. So we do length times width, and that's going to be 24 times 15. So 24 times 15. Okay, let's expand these. So on the left, we still have 270 is equals to, let's expand this, 24 times 15, 24 times 15, that's going to be 360. 24 times 2x, that is going to be plus 48x. Then 2x times 15, that's going to be plus 30x. Then 2x times 2x, that's going to be plus 4x squared, right? And then 24 times 15, that is 360. Okay, so we have this 48 plus 30x. Well, 48x plus 30x, that's going to give us 78x. Let's start with the 4x squared. So we put the 4x squared at the front, and then now let's end with the first 360. So we bring it here, so plus 360, and then we still had this other minus 360, and this is all equals to 270. Okay, 360 minus 360 is 0. So this means on the right, we only have 4x squared plus 78x, and we are saying this is equals to 270. Now, let's rewrite this equation starting with the right side. So this basically means that 4x squared plus 78x is equals to 270. This is obviously a quadratic equation, right? Let's take this 270 and take it to the left, right? So this becomes 4x squared plus 78x, and then when the 270 comes to the left, it becomes minus 270, and this is equals to 0. Let's solve this using completing the square method. By the way, that's probably the best way to solve a quadratic equation. Now, to use completing the square method, you need to ensure that this coefficient of x squared is 1. To do that, we are going to divide through by 4. So, divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4. And then, so by 4, 1, by 4, 1, so we remain with x squared, and then plus 78 divided by 4, that's going to be 19.5, then we have x, minus 270 divided by 4, that's going to be 67.5, and this is equals to 0, since 0 divided by 4 is 0. We are now ready to complete the square. And to complete the square, what you usually do is you take this coefficient of x, you divide it by 2, then you square the result, and whatever you get, you're supposed to add and subtract it from this left side of the equation. Okay, let's start small. We take this coefficient of x, 19.5, we divide it by 2, then we square the result. Now, this is going to be the term that we add and subtract from this equation. Let's not even square it. Let's just leave it in this form. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. So we have the x squared. We write it. We have the second term was plus 19.5x, 19.5x. But before we write this third term of negative 67.5, what I want us to do is we take this term we got, which was so plus 19.5 over 2 squared. You see, we have added that term. Now let's subtract that same term. So minus 19.5 over 2 squared. And finally, now let's write our final term, which was minus 67.5. Minus 67.5. All this should give us 0. You see, I haven't really changed the equation because this term we have added and subtracted the same term. So the net gain to the equation is 0, right? What has changed, however, is that these first 3 terms now form a square. These first 3 terms now collapse to x plus this term right here, which is 19.5 over 2 squared. And in fact, if you expand this, you are going to get this like the longer expression, right? So the first 3 terms collapse to x plus 19.5 over 2 squared, and then minus, now we can expand this. So 19.5 divided by 2, let me use my calculator here. So we say 19.5 divide by 2, and then we square that, and this is going to give us 95.0625. Then we still have minus 67.5, and all this is equals to 0. So this means that x plus 19.5 over 2 squared, so minus 95.0625 and then minus 65. Let's see what that gives us. Oh, I mean, minus 67.5. That's going to give us minus 162.5625, and we are saying this is equals to 0. Our interest is, of course, the x. So first of all, let's take this to the right side. So on the left, we are going to remain with x plus 19.5 over 2 squared. And now we are saying this is equals to, when the negative 162.5625 goes to the right, it becomes positive. So 0 plus that, we get 162.5625. Our interest is the x, but we have this square here. So to remove the square, we find the square root of both sides. So we are going to take the square root of this, and we're also going to take the square root of that. Now, the square root of the square of something is that something. So in this case on the left, we only left with x plus 19.5 over 2. And this is equals to, now the square root of a number is either plus or minus, positive or negative. So in this case, we find the square root of 162.5625, and that's going to give us 12.75. Then again, our interest is in x, so we take this 19.5 over 2 to the right side. So on the left, we are going to remain with x is equals to, so 19.5 over 2, 19.5 divided by 2, that's just 9.75. But when it comes to the right, it becomes negative. So that's the same as writing negative 9.75, and then we still have plus or minus 12.75. Okay, so this means x is either equals to negative 9.75 plus 12.75, or x is equals to negative 9.75 minus 12.75. So for this first case, x will be, so I do negative 9.75 plus 12.75. That's going to give me 3. So x is either 3, or then I do negative 9.75 minus 12.75. That's going to give me x is equals to negative 22.5. Okay, let's scroll upwards. What was x? X was the space between one length and, well, the length the space between one length and the other, the length of the photograph and the length of the frame. So x is width, right? Width cannot be negative, right? Or length, whichever you prefer. Actually, let's go with length. So length cannot be negative, right? Let's write that. Length cannot be negative. So therefore, this means that the value of x is 3, but we need to include the units. So x was in centimeters, so here we include 3 centimeters. That's the answer to the question. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something new. Have a great day.